I love you. Welcome back, couch potatoes. We're coming to you beaten, broken, bruised, and battered, and we're gonna get through this. We're just gonna get through this. It's another fun, exciting episode here on the couch. I am the Green Traveler from Gorsh.
I am the Faceless Leon. This is a podcast about movies and TV called Green and Faceless on the Couch. I am particularly going to be pretty low energy today. I have had some caffeine today, which I was allowed, but I wasn't allowed food. So here we are. So a little buzzy and a little definitely not completely here, but I'm trying.
Yeah, it's just one of those experiments the government has to perform on you every other couple of years. Yeah,
Yeah, like I get all gloopy, like when I don't eat, like the polymer stuff sticking together.
Yeah. A little drippy.
Yeah. Not
gross.
like wet.
No.
Goopy. It's like Play-Doh left out in the
It's kind of like mud. A little bit like dry and mud.
Sure, like the drier, like clay. It's like dry, like half-dried clay. No, it's not even, because it's not cracky. It's more like silly putty when you put it in the car and then you open it again and it's all conformed to one side. And you're like, how'd that happen?
I wasn't gonna refer to you as silly putty, but if that's what you want, by all means.
It's the closest.
It is, it's true.
I know I was sensitive to it back in high school. But I'm over.
Don't call me silly putty.
Don't call me silly putty. God, I just got a little bit of a flashback there.
Oh no!
So we're talking about TV today.
We got another TV talk.
Yeah, we're talking about Midnight Mass. This came out a while ago. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was definitely 2021.
Was it 2021?
Yeah, it was not. It was not this year.
Oh, I knew it wasn't this year. I just can't believe it was 2021. I thought it was out longer than that. It's been on my list for quite some time.
Right. Same here, because the director, and I would assume he probably wrote some of the episodes, if not all of them, is Mike Flanagan. I love Mike Flanagan. He's one of my favorite names in horror right now. In regards to movies, he did Oculus with Karen Gillan from Doctor Who.
Oh, okay.
It's a great one. Yeah, it's a really fun one. He did Ouija Origins of Evil, which had no rights to be a good movie, because Ouija, the first movie,
not so good.
Yeah, the original movie, the original Ouija is just awful. It's so trash, but it's not even hilariously bad. I don't remember it being hilariously bad. I just remembered it being very disappointing. But I was gonna go see Ouija Origins of Evil because I was like, this one will be funny bad. It's a sequel to a really bad movie. If they're gonna make another one, it has to be real bad.
They know what it is.
And I was the best part too was I was the only one in the theater because nobody was expecting anything out of this movie. So I was there. I was in the back row, right in the middle. It was incredibly dark, and I was like, all right, I'm going to see a hilariously bad movie. And then it started, and I was like, oh, this isn't going to be funny. This is actually going to be like scary. And it was pretty damn good. It had no reason. It wasn't going to be, it's not like an amazing horror film, but it had no reason to be that good. So immediately I love Mike Flanagan for that. He's also done some Stephen King adaptations. He did Dr. Sleep and Gerald's Game. Both of those.
I haven't watched either of those.
Both are really pretty good. I loved them. But in regards to television, he did the Haunting of Hill House a couple years back.
Very good.
Yeah, and its follow-up Bly Manor, but I haven't seen that one. Or maybe it's not Bly Manor. I don't remember what it's called.
Bly Manor sounds right.
Yeah, something like that. Haunting of Bly Manor, maybe. But The Haunting of Hill House was brilliant fucking television. I love that show. That was
really good. Secret review of that, I sometimes have sleep paralysis. It hasn't happened in quite some time, actually.
Yeah.
But after watching that, I did one time have a hallucination of that character in that show. Secret review of that.
It's terrifying. I've never had sleep paralysis. I've had it once. and it was after the show, and it was more frightening because of the show.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, that's pretty disturbing shit right there in that show.
Like, I feel like every time I watched an episode, I would have an episode of sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like my brain was, like, forcing me into that state. But I definitely had it before the show.
Yeah.
The first time I remember having it was in that apartment, our sophomore year. Yeah.
Gotcha, yeah.
Take me out to the living room. Take me out to my chair. Hand me the clicker and turn on the tube. I don't care if we even eat food for it's the faceless pitch. Yeah, I'll take it down a notch for that.
And you don't care even if we don't eat food. Remember that.
Oh no, I do actually really care. I'm so hungry. I've had to eat chicken broth. I say eat. I've been drinking it from a mug.
Yeah. It's rough, man.
I know you know.
I hate fasting.
It sucks. Anyhow, me and my wife just finished watching this show called Ghosts. And it's great. It's about Allison Cooper, who inherits a house called Button Manor or Button House. And her husband, Mike Cooper, and her decide to...
Oh, it's not... Oh.
What?
I thought it was Alice Cooper,
her name.
The rocker.
Yeah, no, I know. That's a funny... I don't know if that's like a joke for these people.
You had sold me. I was thinking the rocker with ghosts. I was like, all right, cool. I like this
show, and that would be also awesome. Allison Cooper,
the snake too,
is played by Charlotte Ritchie, and her husband Mike is played by Kiel Smith Binu. I'm sorry if that's wrong, guys. But anyhow, they inherit this house, as I said, and it is haunted by all sorts of ghosts, including some distant relative of hers named Fanny Button. That's not her first name. Lady Fanny Button is what she's billed as. Played by Martha Howe Douglas. And there is a captain from World War II. There's an old MP named Julian Fawcett. And he died with his pants off, so he's eternally pantsless.
Oh, man. I was going to say, is there a kitchen sink, too, since his name is Fawcett? But no, sorry.
There's a poet named Thomas Thorne. I really wanted to give all these characters credit, but there's just so many of them. I love them all. I would have to say that my favorite of the ghosts is Mary, played by Katie Wicks. She plays someone who was burnt at the stake at a witch trial. And it's just the way that she uses broken Old English is just so good. It's just so good.
Nice.
So we just can't recommend this show enough. It's about Allison and Mike getting to know these ghosts in the house, and while they're also trying to make it like a wedding venue kind of thing, and also live there. So it's a lot of fun. And there's some people out there who are like really fucking confused, because when I said ghosts, they were thinking, but wait, I saw this show. It's the same show. You just described the same show, but with a completely different cast. And that's because in 2001, they decided to bring it over to America.
Like they always do.
Yeah, and I have no idea what this show is like, if it's any good. So don't, if you've seen this show and you didn't like it, not to say that it's bad, because I don't know, I have no opinion. I just found out before doing the episode that this show existed. Don't judge the original BBC show on this, because it's excellent. We literally finished watching it like 2 days ago, and I already started watching it again with a friend of ours, because we're like, you have to watch this show.
Nice.
So, what do you think?
Definitely. Is it a long, like, it's definitely over with then, right?
Yeah, I don't know that it's over with, but it has 3 seasons on HBO Max, and it I could have a fourth season. I don't know. The third season was super funny, so I kind of hope it has a fourth season, but who knows?
Yeah, like it's another one of those, like, maybe I'll just wait until they're done with the story then.
Sure. There's only 21 episodes so far.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, it's just like I have so like limited just brain space to keep like a running tally of what shows I'm trying to stay up with, to date with. I tried so hard in college with like all the CW shows because I loved the DC world, but it I don't know, it boiled up to a point where all my days was like, oh, there's no episode of this, I gotta make sure I watch this now. And yeah, so it's best if I just wait until I know for certain that things are done and then just try to binge them then.
Yeah.
Because it's like Doctor Who, it's the one show that, well, I guess Critical Role now too, but like I haven't caught up with that. But Doctor Who's like the one show that I'm just like, you're the one I'm going to stay with.
Ride or die.
Everything else will be played by ear. But that definitely sounds entertaining, and I always love the BBC, so I mean, obviously I love the BBC.
Comedy, it got me. Every single fucking beat, I laughed at the jokes. And I think I laugh a little bit easier than you, but it's just, you also know that I have my own brand of humor, and the potatoes out there, I guess, probably know that too. But
yeah,
it just hit me. It hit me in the good place. And there's a little bit of feels too, but I think I've talked about The Good Place on this show. It doesn't outrank that for me, but it's gotten pretty close on the, hey, I can watch this at fucking any point.
So you're all about the afterlife. That's the way to your heart for the TV shows.
Maybe that's it.
You like that?
Let's
you like
talk
that
about
good
vampires then.
See, this is the kind of show made for me. Midnight Mass. If we're going to jump straight to Midnight Mass.
This is now the main event. If you needed to get some popcorn, that's too bad.
You should have done it.
Soda pop break a little bit later because I did that really fast.
That's I feel like there are things I want to talk about spoiler wise, so that's when we'll take a little break then.
That sounds good.
But yeah, here with Midnight Mass, as I said, tailor-made for one green traveler. Let's be honest, because so one, as I just mentioned with your pitch, to segue from that a bit, it's a limited show. It's like what 6, 7, 8 episodes, like 7. Yeah, it's over. It's done. If they want to do a second season, I guess they can do that, but I don't see them wanting to, given Mike Flanagan's history of doing these like beautiful little miniseries in horror.
Just wants to do a story and then be done, and I'm for it.
Yeah, for fucking real. That is how it should be. Doctor Who can go on for 60 plus years. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, if you have a concept that can do it, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a plan.
And most other television shows just need to know when there's an out. It just needs to know what the end of the story is, and it's just got to figure out how to stop it.
The one, a big wink, wink, the Supernatural, and I just wanted to rip off the Band-Aid there because I think that's who you're talking to.
Yeah, they're certainly one of them. They are one of the ones that irritate me. Like, I'm sorry, I don't watch Supernatural. I've watched the first 2 seasons, and it was enough for me to know.
The first 4 seasons, and it was starting to get pretty good, but we had a falling out with the person I was watching with.
That might also be why I don't like the show. But no, it's just... If you're gonna do even a television show, like the difference with television shows and movies is television show has that benefit of aiding from the feedback of the audience. So like, you know, they put them out one season at a time, and throughout that season they could read what's working well with the audience pretty freaking well, especially with the internet nowadays. So when they come out with season 2, they can fix the errors, they can work on the plots better, they can do whatever the audience wanted them to do. That's the beauty of television. However, even if there are so many people loving your show, you have to know what the end is.
Yeah.
You have to know that there's an end in sight. Even if it's going to piss off your fans, you have to come to a point where that's the story, that we're done. And, you know, like, even though I don't like the ending to, like, shows like Penny Dreadful, I do respect Penny Dreadful for being like, that was the story we wanted to tell. There's no more.
Yeah.
Even though you clearly know that there is so much fucking more, there's no more. We're not doing
series. I don't remember what it's called, but it's in America.
Oh, interesting. it just has to have an end. And that's the beauty of Midnight Mass, is it's got a fucking end. And I hate it. I hate the ending so much.
What?
But I do. And we'll talk about it behind the spoiler wall. But it doesn't hurt the film, because again, it's tailor-made for me. Two things that I love. And I have to do a blanket apology to all Catholics listening here. I myself am an atheist, and I'm going to try very hard to be respectful of people's beliefs, but this is a very Catholic show, and it presents Catholicism as it is, which is very much in parallel with occults and occultism. There's so much in conjunction with those two. And that is like the main focus of this show, is like parceling out like this whole religion. And there's also vampires. So it's beautiful. I fucking love it. Like, it's perfect for me, because it's like, it's not... I think it handles Catholicism very respectfully. The Mike Flanagan and the crew...
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, they definitely knew what they were talking about. They definitely, if they weren't Catholics themselves, they did a lot of fucking research on it. Because, like, I don't know, they present everything beautifully. Like, you had a story about your wife watching it.
Yeah, okay, so in the first episode... Time for soda pop. Okay, so in the first episode we have Father Paul show up, played by Hamish Linklater. He comes in to take over the parish while Monsignor Pruitt is on the mainland getting some medical help, because he is old man.
And that medical help comes immediately after his nice long trip
to Jerusalem. Yeah. And like the town, like you get hints that the town knew that his mind was slipping, but they loved him, so they covered for him and stuff in it.
Yeah.
It's actually, that part was actually really sweet. I thought that was very nice. I like the crock pot. I don't remember what it's actually. Crockett. It's called Crockett. It's an island community. I really enjoyed the intertwined feeling of that community. There was some nice parts, and there was some bad parts, namely with Bev Keane, Samantha.
She's so amazing.
Sloan.
Yeah, and immediately up front, having mentioned just those two actors, I just want to say their performances are fucking brilliant. Hamish Linklater and Samantha Sloan, just
amazing,
magnificent.
Yes,
great performances from both of them.
Bev plays every Karen that you've ever met. No,
yes,
she plays a very hyper religious woman who uses her belief to manipulate those around her, and it's like in a way that's almost obvious, but she gets away with it because the entire community is with the Catholic Church. If they weren't, they grew up with it. So she gets away with it because she's high up in the church. Anyhow, what my wife said. Father Paul comes into the church and he's wearing the wrong vestments. He's wearing the white and gold vestments. And according to the Catholic calendar, it is ordinary time when they're doing the thing. And they say that before I think he shows up, maybe not.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. But as soon as Sarah heard that it was ordinary time, she was like, what the hell is he doing in those vestments? He should be wearing green. She got immediately upset. She's like, what is this? Like, they did everything else right. Why is he wearing that? And then, like, at the end of the sermon, Bev points it out that he's wearing the wrong vestments. And she's like, okay, good. Okay.
Yep. it's amazing. They did so much good research on this show. So like I heavily applaud all of it. Like
you know how many movies I've watched that have depictions of the Catholic Church? I never knew that they wore different color vestments on certain days.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, it's like most people, when they get out, they just want to present the image that we know of it. Wow. They don't want to dive exactly like too deep into it. And that's what I loved about this show because, again, I know people are going to get mad at me for it, but there is an occult-like nature specifically to Catholicism. And how this show presents that, both the good and the bad, the tight-knit community and the Bev Keane who uses religion like a weapon, rather than like just, you know, most of the people are good-natured people. They want to do good. Bev, she is very motivated. motivating, I guess. Like she's looking out for herself. She doesn't really care about the community. She just cares about herself and her image, I guess.
Right. And being perceived as a zealot.
Yeah, and like I won't try to, again, I apologize to people out there with religion if I'm being offensive. I'm trying not to be, because it's like I do respect your beliefs and like people's faith. But I just love looking into a religion like this, how this show does, specifically through the fact that once Father Paul comes into town, once he shows up, weird shit starts to happen.
Yeah.
There's a storm, and there's when the storm's over with, there are hundreds of dead cats littering the beach.
Yeah, which I feel like they don't actually ever touch that again. I just heard.
No, it's yeah, they don't kind of, but it's more of a shout out or like an Easter egg to those vampire stories of that significant hatred of cats.
I see.
And yeah, and it's beautiful because so I didn't know anything about this show coming in. You had told me about it. You were just like, hey, we should do Midnight Mass. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. What is that? And I look it up and I see Mike Flanagan. I was like, oh, fuck. Hell yeah, I'm in. And so I didn't want to do research after I saw Mike Flanagan's name. I just wanted to watch it. But the poster art, the cover art or whatever you want to call it for the show on Netflix had a very strong vampire feel to it.
Oh, yeah. Like I could feel the vampire on it.
Yeah. And so when I was watching that first episode, I'm just like, okay, so I assume they're gonna get to vampires somehow, but I was like, I don't know what we're doing. Like he was hinting at it pretty well, but he wasn't gonna blatantly do it. And then when it ends with dead cats on the beach, I was just like, oh shit, this is gonna be fun. And it gets weirder from there. It gets wildly weirder. I don't want to spoil too much of that kind of plot stuff, but the more you get of the vampire idea, just the more enthralling this story is.
It sure does. I will say that it starts off with little things and then turns into minor miracles. That's what I'll say.
And I loved that too.
Yeah, I do too. But just like there's so fucking much that I would like to talk about, so I think a wall is appropriate. But maybe we will put that wall up after we take a soda pop break.
Yes, let us do that first. Let us go ahead and take a soda pop break, I think. Okay. Soda pop? Soda pape?
Sody.
Soda pape.
Soda
go.
Okay, I'll be right back.
Hello, spoiler avoiders. Been a long time, huh? Well, go to 4553 if you want to avoid them.
I lost you. Joe.
Yeah. I never knew what the lyrics were, so I always just went, ba-da-ba-dee-ba-da-ba-da, true. I've been there a long time ago. Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from? Joe.
At one point, I knew a good portion of the lyrics for it. It's, where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
I know that, but there's a moment where he like just screams it out real loud at the beginning. He's like, Joe. Yeah. Like he doesn't say, where did you come from? Where did you go? He literally is saying something else. If it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe, I'd been married long time ago. That's if it hadn't been for Cotton Eye Joe. I never knew what he said.
I did it at karaoke one time, which that was a mistake. Karaoke generally is a mistake.
Yeah, you just start speaking like the Jadoon from Doctor Who, just Rojo, Gojo, Mojo, Go, Nigel. I think we're back, yeah?
Okay, I guess we're back.
We're behind safe behind a spoiler wall. I want to start off first without a big spoiler. I already forgot what I was going to talk about, dang it. Oh. Oh well.
Okay.
We're safe behind a spoiler wall. I'll cut all that out. I don't remember what I was going to talk about. It just hit a brick wall immedionly.
Yeah, so we are talking about Midnight Mass. I hope that helps.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was just there's something specific I was gonna. Oh, I remember now. Okay. It was about one thing that goes hand in hand with Catholicism. And I'm not saying Catholics are drunks here. I'm just saying Alcoholics Anonymous is a very Catholic-esque program. Right. It has very similar tenets and everything. And I do believe they also force you to pray to God in many of those.
Yeah, you're supposed to believe in a higher power.
Yeah, just like the Freemasons. They won't accept me. Bastards.
Well, that's you would have to do. Riley Flynn does talk about the alternative, the godless alternative, and I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry,
I don't remember either.
But
no.
If you do a quick Google, if you do need help, this series talks right now.
Yes,
if you do need help. Do a Google search for alternatives to AA, and it will be there.
Yeah. For real. But it shows that nature of AA, and it talks about the positives of just having somebody to talk to, because Riley, who plays Riley? Let me look that up real quick.
Zach Guilford.
Thank you, Zach Guilford. And he is very good at being very like he's not cold, he's not emotionally cold, broody. But he looks emotionally, broody, thank you. Yeah, he definitely looks perfect for the role in that regard. Or he pulls it off really well. But when he comes to the island, because he had an alcoholic incident earlier, before the show started, I guess. Right. I guess we're behind a spoiler wall. He had a car accident while drunk and killed a woman. Right. And she just haunts his dreams. Yeah. She doesn't haunt his dreams. She haunts him, prior to him going to sleep. He sees her at the end of every day before he goes to sleep. The imagery is so chilling. It's really well done.
It's beautiful, really, but yes, chilling.
And I fucking love it. But it's because of that incident, he went to jail. Right. And he after being released, he comes back to his family on the island. It was 5 years. And when he comes back to the island, he still has to attend AA meetings. Right. And he can only do that by going all the way back to the mainland and attending those meetings. Well, Father Paul offers him the alternative of just doing them with him. And you see how he brings all that, the religion aspect and everything into AA. There's a lot of positives. There's a lot of negatives. And I love how this show explores that. Yeah. It's because addiction is a thing. It definitely is. It's a very serious issue. And for some, religion is the perfect way to get out of it. Yeah. And for others, like Riley, you see that struggle because he doesn't really believe.
He did before. He did before the accident. The accident was actually his inciting incident to evaluate his belief. Because his thought was, if there really was a God, why would he allow my drunk ass to kill this young woman who had a very promising future?
A lot of people out there who are religious who might be turning away from this show because of how I'm talking about it. One of the positives to this show is it takes a very agnostic approach. It takes a very middle line, because by the end of it, you could easily argue that woman's death, that horrible inciting incident for this character to examine themselves in their lives. Right. It was all part of, it could have all been part of God's plan, because when you get to the ending, his ending in the show, that is where his character is at the end of the show, it's a beautiful show of his development. Yes, of him coming to the right moment at the right time to do the exact thing that's needed to save lives. Yeah, it's a very good moment. It was
very sad though, and and just the right kind of horrific. Aaron Green, his love interest, I'll say, was a part of that scene. That's all I'll say. I don't want to give details to it.
Yeah, and she's played by Kate Siegel, Mike Flanagan's wife.
I did not know that, but I liked her a lot in this show, and I feel like I recognize her from something else.
She was in House on Haunted Hill, or Haunting of Hill House. Sorry. Okay. I think she honestly might have been in a lot of his. I don't think she's been in everything that he's done, but she's been in a lot of his projects.
Wow. She was in Hush.
And she has a lot of good. Yeah. Oh yeah, she was in Hush. Yeah.
I don't. Oh,
did he do Hush too?
I don't know. Let's see.
Might have.
Yes, Mike Flanagan did...
Directed.
Hush.
God, such a magnificent person. I love him. He's got such a good filmography. And Kate Siegel playing Erin Green, she has a lot of good monologues throughout the show. She's got a lot of good moments where she gets to shine because she is a single mother-to-be and in a Catholic community.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Well,
that raises questions.
I think she was married to the person, and then she left after she found out she was pregnant.
Yeah,
because I think
that might be right.
Abusive. That is a spoiler, but once again, behind the walls. So. And also, it's like a background story thing, not plot.
Yeah.
So fuck.
There's a lot that happens before the show takes place.
Oh yeah.
So like,
you do a very good job at making it that the first episode is not the beginning of these people's lives. They do a very good job of that.
Yeah, and they explore so many different characters' motivations, backstories. Like, it's beautiful. It's so well done with all the characters.
Joe Colley, played by Robert Longstreet.
Is he the town drunk?
Drunk, yes.
Yeah.
He also was involved in an accident that took the ability to walk from another character. I forget what that young woman's name was. But Lisa. It's Lisa. That's the character's name, played by Anara Kaimone.
And she was the daughter of the mayor, too, right?
Daughter of the mayor, that's right, yes.
Yeah.
But I also don't remember what his name was.
Right. There's so many freaking characters.
So there's
it's such a huge
characters. And they do a great job of making them all relevant.
Yeah. They all have good moments, like, I mean, some of those moments kind of just come at the end when it's, like, got to give them a moment, but still, there's so many good. I mean, there's even the sheriff, Sheriff Hassan.
Yes,
I got my notes.
Really like
Rahul Kohli.
Kohli
is the actor, I think.
Well, I have
Kohli.
Ali was the kid who must also be. Yeah, his name is also Raul, so I got confused. His name is Arul Aburi, playing his son, Ali. And they are the only Muslims in, like, the tri-state area. No, that's not true. They have to go to the mainland to attend mosque. And there is this plot where Bev is basically trying to convert Ali, and he is interested in the church because, as we said, there are these minor miracles happening.
Minor miracles. All of his friends from school go there. Right. He's tired of feeling singled out.
Right.
In regards to the town, like there's a good view of that too. Of this, the Muslim community trying to live in that society is really wonderfully looked at too.
Really good commentary on that. With that is particularly in the PTA meeting where they get to directly debate it. There's a lot that Coley says that is really poignant and stuck with me as really good arguments of, like, just be tolerant, you fucking assholes.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
That's always how I felt about the thing anyways. It's like, you guys literally worship the same God, even if you don't think you do.
Ooh, rough grounds there.
I got in a debate with a relative over that at one point that turned into a screaming match, and I was like, okay, but I mean,
yeah, but it's a beautiful peering into that, and like every big message they have is huge. I'm trying to think of the big spoilers. I know I want to talk the ending. Yeah, I guess there's really the only two things I really want to talk about now is just the vampire and the ending. Why I don't like the ending. But first, the vampire. When you first see the vampire, sorry, I'm using the character's name wrong. When you first see the angel, it is called the angel. It's not called the vampire. It's not ever. I don't think it's ever referred to as a vampire.
No,
it might be.
Let's see.
I know the cast list and character thing calls it just the angel, and I love that.
It just says the angel.
I love it. That's good. It's beautiful. But the angel, when you first see it, it's very much like it kind of looks a little bit Nosferatu jokey-ish. Like it's very tall, very thin, kind of in the shadows. It looks a little goofy.
It's the figure on the beat.
And like the more you see it though, as the show develops, it gets goofier and goofier. But somehow by the time you get to that last episode, it's terrifying. Like, I don't understand how it happened. Like, I don't know where the switch is, but like when you first see it, you're just kind of like, that's your vampire. I like it. It's goofy. It's kind of funny. And then by the episode 6, I'm just like, oh my god, he's so intimidating. Yes. It's just those fingers, those wings.
Very well portrayed by Quentin Boyce-Claire. Yeah, he did a very, very good Angel. And, what I liked about the show is that Father Paul keeps on saying every time that angels are mentioned in the Bible, the people were terrified. So this is, don't be afraid. That's what's going on here. And I'm like, oh my God, it's just like, you can argue anything and they'll believe it.
Yeah. It's really well done. It really is. And like that's what I loved about it is, again, there's dark sides of every single kind of religion or faith. There's dark sides to atheism, agnosticism, like of course there is. But like it's beautiful to just like to look at that congressional behavior and shape it like that. If you have like the perfect like fire and brimstone speaker like Paul is, like Hamish Linklater does some great fucking sermons throughout this whole show. And they're all so good that it's just like me as an atheist, like when I went to church, I was usually bored because I did not have those kind of leaders. I think Methodists refer to them as either reverends or preachers. I think preachers. That's what we called them.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. It was mine were older kind of like softly spoken gentlemen who relied on PowerPoints and the coming age technology of, being able to click through a PowerPoint to guide you. Boring. I almost always fell asleep during church or like turned to toys or something to play with. If Father Paul was my leader, my faith leader, I could have easily eaten that shit up. Like really, because he delivers a great sermon.
Yeah, he's very convincing. He's very warm too. Like when he's doing the ritualistic bits, it's like he knows he's doing a ritual thing and he's getting through it, but he's also putting the emphasis on the words that make you understand it a little bit better.
Yeah.
So when he's able to do, I wish I knew the words of the different parts of the sermon, but when he gets to do the part where he gets to use his own words that he's written, it's so good. It is so good. And it did remind me of a lot of pastors that I had growing up, particularly the main one I had growing up. He was a very good orator. It definitely reminded me of him. Like I've known people in my life that are these good orators and who seem like they do truly believe in the faith that they're preaching. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, dude earns all the praise he gets for this role because he knocked it out of the park. It's still the one thing, like, we both watched this more than a month ago. Yeah. Maybe even 2 months ago. Yeah, and like, the one thing out of everything that clearly resonates with me still was his performance. It's so good. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
But if you're ready, let's talk the ending.
Yeah, let's, before we tear down the wall? Yes.
Yeah, yes. I wanna spoil some shit. So like, if you're really not interested, go to whatever timestamp I gave you at the beginning of the wall now. Like, because I'm going to start spoiling shit. So Riley basically sacrifices himself, the Alcoholics Anonymous kid that we talked about earlier. Yeah. He is converted to a vampire against his will. He's attacked, basically. And Father Paul is like, I didn't want you to die. I got you. He's like, we've developed a relationship through our bonding as, in this Alcoholics Anonymous class. I feel like I've gotten to know you. I feel like I can save your soul, that kind of stuff. And, and Riley doesn't like necessarily disagree with any of that because he is like, you have been a very good healing figure in my life, in my mind, helping me, become a better person. but at the same time, he doesn't want to be a vampire. You know, he doesn't like what the urges he's getting. So he takes Bev. No, sorry, not Bev. He takes Aaron Green, his love interest, all the way out to the water.
Right.
In the at night.
The dream that he's
and then when
had.
and he tells her everything about, you know, his, like, what he, like, who he is, how he's come to be this, like, all of it. He just lays his soul bare, and then the sun comes up, he burns because he's a vampire, but he tells her to run. That was his last thing. It's like, please, I know what you're going to do. Don't do that. Run away instead. Obviously, she can't do that being who she is. So she's got to go back to the town and save people. What I don't like is during that final episode, pretty much the majority of the town is either converted to vampires or killed. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the survivors have this bright idea of burning down all of the buildings. Okay? So that they can't... Like,
percentage of the survivors. When you say survivors, like this, most of the survivors are vampires at this point. That's
right.
That's why. Not just
but
all
like
of them turn
the
around and burn down their houses.
Yeah, the rebellious force is still alive.
Yes.
The tiny few humans of this town, they decide to burn everything down at night. They're trying to burn down all these buildings. Why that's dumb? If you've ever read a vampire novel, ever, in your life, you know they're all going to go to the same area to hide. I don't know why, but they are. And that's exactly what happens, is they're all going to go to the church and they're going to hide when the sun comes up. So you, as a human, instead of running around trying to burn down every fucking building at night, hide, wait until the sun comes out, then burn down every fucking building. Why? Why are they out there trying to do this? They're panicking. They're like, we gotta get this done before day comes up and make sure they all go to one church. No, they're just gonna do that. I don't know why, but they are. That's what every single vampire's ever done in any horror book. They all go to the same place. It pissed me off because all of the people basically die trying to burn all these buildings down when the vampires are at their strongest form. Fucking stupid. None of it had to happen. None of that ending had to happen.
Okay, I feel like their fear was that they had no place to hide.
But they're able to run around in the open so much and burn down so many buildings without ever getting caught.
Yes.
They could have hidden easily. Easily.
Okay, maybe that's true, but I feel like, as you said, in every single vampire novel or show, they all gather in one place. Maybe they're just trying to do something different. Maybe that was it. And that's fine.
If Mike Flanagan was thinking that, if he's like, it can't end that way, I gotta put a little twist on it, then he should have done that, put a little twist on it, looked at it, read it, and go, oh, that's why they end it that way. Scrap. They all go to church. They burn them down. We have some actual survivors, not just two random kids floating off at sea who missed it all. Like, I hated that pretty much every character died except for two kids. Like,
I liked that ending because it was just like a nice cap to the story. It felt more like a short story than, a series that could go on forever. So I do like the finality of it. But I think maybe there was something about him wanting to get the angel off that night, off the island, that is.
Well, yeah, they wanted to make sure they got the angel killed.
The boats.
Yeah.
That was the first thing they did. And then, yes,
right.
I guess they could have adapted something closer to your plan. But they didn't. And it was still good.
No, they did.
And the effect of all those people burning, okay, that was gross, but also worth it.
Yeah, it still was a good ending. Yeah. I hate it, but it was still good. Like, I love this show. It definitely felt like a Stephen King kind of ending, in my opinion. Like, I mean, he's written this story. It's called Salem's Lot. It's literally, small small tight knit town with all of their drama and all their issues. And then here comes a vampire into the mix, and it all goes to fucking hell. Like,
and then
it's a fun story.
Characters show up in other novels for no apparent reason.
There's a reason it's explained. You just have to read other novels of his. It's all connected, man. It's one giant spider web. But no, even though I say I hate the ending, it's not entirely true. I do think it's a good ending. It's just I think the decisions made by the characters at the end are just dumb. I think I understand where they're coming from. I understand their fear, but I think it's more important that somebody survives to tell the tale.
Yeah.
And that the two people who do survive aren't kids, because the public not gonna believe. Yeah, nobody's gonna believe two kids. Nobody would believe an adult either. Like, hell no.
It's like,
but
yeah,
a group of people
point you to Green Acres, the local.
Green Acres is the place to be. Oh, Jesus.
That's probably insensitive. Let's tear down the wall and do some closing statements.
Yeah, let's do it. I do know that even though I've been praising this movie, saying that it's so perfect, that it's everything for me, I know people are going to be like, well, definitely 4 stars. I give it 3.5 stars. Okay. It's not 4 stars. Okay. I'm sorry. I love it a lot. It's a great horror show. Again, beautiful in the fact that it's a limited, yes. 7 episodes. How I could have questioned it being any other number than 7, I don't know. But it's definitely 7. Yeah, it's about Catholicism, man. It's got to be 7 or 3. It's got to be one of those. Well, I love it. It's such a fun show. Great acting. There are some like small stale moments, but like I don't care. It's so fun. It's so well researched, well presented. Great fucking job. I can't wait for more Mike Flanagan.
Yeah. Give us another show, and we'll review it.
Yeah. Come on our show.
I give it, I think you know what? I'm going to give it a face and a half. It probably is one of my. It's definitely up there for vampire stories for me. I can't actually think of something that I think that tops it off the top of my head.
It's very true.
You know, I think before this, it would have been Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen whatever the fuck. The one that Brad Pitt's in. I haven't seen that one.
But the one that Brad Pitt's in?
The Interview of a Vampire. Isn't that Brad Pitt?
That's the Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise. That's a good one.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a face and a half. It's a good series. I like the ending. You didn't like the ending, but they'll have to listen to what
I like it in a different way. But I think that's the show. It's an easy recommend. Yeah, definitely go check out Midnight Mass if you haven't already. Maybe wait until Halloween time. It's a little nicer around then.
I would say, it's a good Halloween show.
Yeah, you don't have to wait, of course, but I would say, watch it now. Do it. Inject yourself with Hot Midnight Mass.
Hot Midnight Mass.
Hot Midnight Mass. Inject yourself with Hamish Linklater. I've been the Great Traveler from Gorsh. Love you guys.
And
gals.
Am the Faceless Leo.
And gentlefolk.
If you would, please, we'd appreciate if you check out our Patreon at patreon.com/greenandfaceless. Until next time, safe travels and good night. Green and Faceless on the Couch is a proud production of FictionWorks 19. If you like the show, please show your support by rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcasts. Like, follow, subscribe, wherever you might listen. We also now have a Patreon account. If you feel so inclined to support us in a financial manner, please become a patron by visiting patreon.com/greenandfaceless. You can also find more information about us on our Facebook account or on the FictionWorks 19 Instagram account. Thank you so much for listening.